I'm Matt Stash.
And I'm Rita and Matt.
Welcome to Beer Reviews, where we review beers in a way that you, the casual beer drinker, can understand.
This episode is being brought to you by the kitchen because of better lighting.
Better lighting, and it's indoors, not quite so cold.
First, Matt, we have some old business to take care of.
We do have some old business to take care of.
We have a retraction and a revision to issue.
Right. In the last episode, we did review a Sierra Nevada beer, Sierra Nevada Celebration IPA, and I made the statement that it wasn't Sierra Nevada, the brewery, that had the advertisement saying that it was not made at their new North Carolina brewery because they don't have one, which was an advertisement that, of course, alienated a bunch of beer drinkers in North Carolina. We were a big beer drinking state. It turns out that was not Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada does have a North Carolina brewery, but it was Flying Dog Brewing that said we did not brew whatever beer it was at our North Carolina brewery because we don't have one. It was actually a stab at Sierra Nevada Brewing for opening up their own brewery in North Carolina. So cheers to Sierra Nevada. Thanks for being here. We are North Carolinians and we like our beer. And Flying Dog, we'll wait till they make up.
We'll tackle that later.
Yeah, we'll wait till they make up for that. But speaking.
Now we do have my revision to issue is regarding the Sierra Nevada. It's one we'll be sampling on this show. It's not actually a chocolate stout, it is a coffee stout.
Right. Do you want to start with the Sierra Nevada coffee stout?
No, I do not.
Okay, great. That sounds like a good plan. Should we start with the one that's actually closest to me?
Yes, that's why I lined them up that way.
Okay, great. So today we're starting with Carolina Brewery Sky Blue Golden Ale. Did I do that in the right order?
Something like that.
Or Sky Blue Carolina Brewery?
First in flavor, the perfect year-round beer. A light-bodied beer with handcrafted integrity. This Kolsch-style brew is crisp and refreshing.
Oh, a Kolsch-style brew.
It is. I don't know where it is. Oh, Pittsboro, North Carolina. That's where it comes from.
Pittsboro, North Carolina. It's a North Carolinian brew. All right.
Sure is. And this one does not require a bottle opener.
Ah, not at all. Oh.
Because the bottle opener's on the other side of you. But if you pour it into the cups...
I will pour it in the cups, because we're drinking out of cups.
Being a bitch.
It does.
It's a little foamy.
It may have been because the cups are a little wet. If you ever find that you're pouring a beer into a glass and it foams over quite a bit or foams up a little bit, it may be there's a little bit of water in your glass or a little bit of ice if you've been chilling your glasses. I had a bartender friend tell me that if you chill your glasses, make sure they're completely dry before you put them in the freezer because that will cause the beer to foam up.
Might have also been the shaking process of displaying the beer.
That's true, you did display the beer in a very vigorous manner.
I wasn't alone. Alright.
I encouraged it.
It's foam.
Best tasting foam I've had all day.
It's the only foam you've had all day?
There's a little bit in the other beer that I had earlier, but...
Ooh, yeah.
I'm getting down to the beer.
Yeah.
A little hiccup there, pardon me.
It really is golden.
It is golden.
It's fairly clear, looks like it's been filtered.
A little cloudy. Is this at all it's a golden ale, right?
It's a golden ale.
I am unfamiliar with the genre of golden ale. Is that considered just straight up like an ale, or is that like a wheat beer kind of ale?
I don't know. It looks like a very light version of an ale. It doesn't so much resemble a wheat beer.
But certainly not a pale ale. It's not
pale ale.
It does not have the hoppiness of a pale ale.
No.
It almost tastes like a lager, which is something you'll probably hear me say in future episodes about various and sundry beers, because lagers are something that's near and dear to my heart.
Oh, Matt.
Okay. Pretty crisp. It's making me burp a little bit and hiccup. I'm not sure why that is. Probably all the foam.
Probably the foam.
This is the foam making me get a little... But it's crisp. I drink this on a summer's day. I would drink this on a cold, dark winter's night. It's a little bitter in a very pleasant way.
Yeah.
It's not bitter in an IPA kind of way. It's bitter in like the way you taste a domestic lager. You'd say it has that sort of beery bitterness to it, and that's just fine with me. I like that.
Now, it isn't a wheat beer, but I would like it with a slice of orange.
I've heard someone say that the orange, the acid in the orange actually oxidizes something about the beer, and then I stopped listening to them.
Because they sound like a beer snob, and that's not what we're out to do.
No, if you like an orange in your beer, go ahead and put that orange in the beer. If you like a lime in your beer, go ahead.
Be careful when putting it into a bottle, though.
Yes, you can get it in your eye.
Or across the room.
Or across the room, yes, right.
Alright. Up next, next we'll be bringing to you the Abita Grapefruit. Let me see about this beer. It is Abita Grapefruit Harvest IPA. Abita Grapefruit Harvest is a brilliant golden IPA with a subtle zest of grapefruit flavor and an aroma that enhances the strong hop character. This bright, snappy brew is made with real Louisiana ruby red grapefruits, pale pilsner, and caramel malts and Cascade hops. Of course, Abita is from, it's actually Abita Springs, Louisiana, near enough to New Orleans.
That's right. Now, I have never had anything fruity in an IPA.
You had it? I thought I had it.
No, I really have not had anything fruity in an IPA. You may recall
Except
from...
for jalapeno.
No, that's just a pale ale. You may recall from the last episode that I am actually sort of a new fan to IPAs. Over the last year or so, I've come to like IPAs and enjoy the qualities of them.
And you may recall that I'm a reluctant drinker of IPAs.
She doesn't like IPAs. She likes the wit beers. I like the IPAs. I also like lagers, which I think is actually sort of the antithesis of IPAs in some people's minds.
It's weird. And we did have a friend of ours who had some of these, and he was drinking them, and he didn't have much positive to say about it. It's a truly strange thing. It is really the grapefruit flavor married with an IPA. It's not really an expected sort of thing. IPAs are typically left true and plain. They are IPA with hops, and that's it.
Yeah.
But this is really that grapefruit flavor.
I think it's funny because a lot of times when you think of a fruit-flavored beer, you think of the sweetness of the fruit and the acidity of the fruit. A citrus beer, something that would have like orange or lime or lemon or something in it. And that quality of the grapefruit is not shining through in this. It's not a citrus acidity. It's not a sweet fruitiness. What you're getting here is definitely the bitterness of the grapefruit is functioning as an enhancement to the hops. It's not a counterpoint flavor by any means. It's definitely enhancing the hops and playing as if it was hops and not a additional fruit flavor. It tastes as if you were to take an IPA and maybe crack some black pepper into it, honestly.
No, there's definitely some grapefruitiness.
Oh yeah, it's the that kind of it's the.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I wouldn't ever intentionally drink this again, except right now I'm going to drink a little more. Enjoy.
Now, Matt, if I were a Blue Moon drinker trying to get my way into IPAs, you think this might be a nice transitional beer?
You know, I guess if you're a Blue Moon drinker and you're trying to get your way into IPAs, maybe this would be a transitional beer. If you're not interested in IPAs and you are a Blue Moon drinker, I don't
Stay away from this.
Yeah, I would say this is not the appropriate beer. But if you're interested in IPAs and there's something about the IPA that intrigues you, but you are a habitual Blue Moon drinker, yeah, sure, why not?
My mom also has a wide variety of beer taste, and she does like IPAs. She's a big fan of Abita, and I think this might be a beer that I'd recommend to her. / buy her.
I do like the Abita Purple Haze. I know that it's one of those fruity raspberry beers. A lot of people may look down on that, but again, as we discussed in our previous episode, the right beer for you is the beer you enjoy drinking. That's what real beer is. A real beer doesn't have to be defined by what the craft brewers or what the mass market beer drinkers say real beer is. Real beer is what you enjoy drinking. So again, with apologies to Sierra Nevada for our statement in the last episode, it's very true that Sierra Nevada does have a North Carolina brewery. It's located in Mills River, North Carolina. Again, that was a Flying Dog that was taking a pot shot at North Carolina beer drinkers. Sierra Nevada, we're reviewing today the Coffee Stout. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this one open, and we're going to have a little bit of stout, coffee stout. We can use a little cup of coffee at this juncture right now.
See what we have to say on the label here. We have a cup of joe and a bowl of beer can thwart the winter cold, so we blended them for the ultimate warmer. Our coffee stout is a fusion of dark roasted malts and rich cold brewed coffee for layers of bittersweet, fruity, dark chocolate, and caramel-like flavors.
So in other words, this not only just has coffee flavors in it, which if you've ever had like a chocolate stout, sometimes the chocolate stouts don't actually have chocolate in them. It's just that the notes of the malts or whatever is in the beer gives a
Sometimes
chocolate
it's
flavor.
aged on cocoa beans.
Right, well, that is the case, but I know a lot of very traditional chocolate beers. They call them chocolate because they're chocolate malts. The malt is actually toasted in such a way that it just gives off the chocolate notes, whereas this one actually does indeed have coffee in it.
Our coffee stout combines malt flavor and roasty coffee for notes of baker's cocoa, dark fruit, and espresso in a complex blend of warming flavors. I'm going to say this is a damn fine beer.
It's good. It tastes like coffee. It tastes like stout.
It's not that heavy of a stout, though.
No, it's not. It's actually kind of a light stout, and although nice and dark, as you can see, that's stouty stout.
Very stout.
But
get in my belly.
Get in my belly. But yeah, again, be careful when you're looking at beers that say coffee stout and chocolate stout, because maybe in the modern sense they may do something avant-garde like aging it on cocoa nibs and stuff like that. But in a very traditional sense, if you see some of the older traditional beers that may say coffee stout or chocolate stout, it may simply be that they've toasted the grains or the malts in such a way that it tastes chocolatey or it tastes coffee-y. Whereas this one does indeed actually have coffee in it, according to the label.
Now, our good friend Andy Jackson of Fu Manchu Cupcakes does make a delicious seasonal cupcake with this here beer.
Oh, he uses this one.
Yep, the coffee stout. Mm-hmm. This is a very limited time. Sierra Nevada contacted him and had him send up a batch of cupcakes to their offices, their big meeting. It is a delicious cupcake. I had it last week.
Usually Rita is the one that introduces the beer in our segments. I know that I've taken at least one to apologize earlier in this episode, and I'm going to do this again, introducing the beer instead of having her, because the beer that I'm introducing is Genesee Cream Ale. My favorite cream ale. And you know this from a previous video I've done where I sabered an entire 6-pack of Genesee Cream Ale bottles for the Genesee Brewing Company. They're located in Rochester, New York. A good old-fashioned, kind of been around for a good long while domestic brewery.
Are they labor made? Are they union made?
I believe they are union made. If not, they're just a tight-knit bunch of folks that takes care of each other and cares about their workers, I assume. But Genesee, located on the Genesee River in Rochester, New York, because that's the way you say it, because in Rochester everyone is constantly congested because of the cold weather up there, or at least that's what I've been told. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this one open. We're going to talk about Genesee. This is our lightning round.
It sure is.
Where we say clever things about a beer in, what, like a minute or so?
Yeah, something like that.
As long as it takes us to drink the beer.
It does.
And I like Genesee Cream Ale. It's my go-to inexpensive domestic beer. I do like the Genesee Cream Ale. I liked it. The thing about Genesee is they respond to me on Twitter. Whenever I tweet something clever at them, they will retweet it and say something back. A lot of even local breweries in Charlotte here won't take the time to do that. So I appreciate Genesee for taking their time to indulge my absurdity.
I will also say that their bottles are the little grenade-style bottles.
Oh, the great.
Little 12-ounce bottles. Similar to what the Mickey's bottles come.
Or Red Stripe, very similar to that, or the Natty Fatties. They put the Genesee Cream Ale in those little short, squat little bottles with a little tiny little neck on them. That's kind of cute.
All right.
Right.
I got the time on the clock. Ready, set, drink! Tastes like a domestic.
It tastes like a domestic, but it has a little bit more flavor to it for me. It's halfway between an ale and a lager.
I definitely recommend you pouring it into a glass. Out of the can, it kind of tastes
like a can.
Yeah.
For me, I think it holds true to what the old can of Genesee Cream Ale used to say, which was all of the flavor of a premium ale with the something or other of a something or other lager. I don't remember because they changed the can about 2-3 years ago, and they used to have a great little slogan on it, and it really described Genesee Cream Ale pretty accurately. It's somewhere between a lager and an ale.
I will say that Genesee does have some of the most bland and generic labels I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
the most interesting of them is Jenny Light, which I understand because you want your light beer to seem more appealing. But really, look, hold that can up. And the Genesee, unleaded, it's it just has the label. It looks like Ducks. It looks like any beer that you're advertising at a show. Or
it really does. Now, and I'll tell you, about 3 years ago, they actually did have more intricate labels, and but they looked old-fashioned. I think they tried to revamp them. As a graphic artist, I see that they tried to revamp them, but they didn't really do a super job revamping the labels, and it still doesn't change the flavor of the beer. So, thank you for joining us today on Beer Reviews with Matt Stash
and Rita and Matt,
where we describe beers and review beers and talk about beers in a way that you, the casual beer drinker, can understand.
We might play hipsters on TV, but we're taking the pretension out of beer.
That's right, and putting all that pretension in something else.
Everything else.
Everything else.
Swing, swing, swing it, man.
I can see if Abita were to get together with Fu Manchu cupcakes, there could be perhaps some sort of Battle of New Orleans cupcake, or maybe even like some sort of crossover specialized beer for it, being that he is Andy Jackson. When I give them something, you know I expect something in return.